I hope you will allow me to return home today, knowing that I will act morally in the future. Unless it happens by coincidence at a pub down the road, I prefer that we never again meet paths. Have you ever wondered, by the way, what thug in Young Thug means? His attorney interprets it as truly humble under God, mainly because his songs are now being used against him in court. I swear that I will never again put myself in this predicament. Is there anybody you know with the name Shay? He's reportedly still out there. What is his real name, Sean SB? He's right there in court, guy. Come on. I take it that you and SB were close. You've known Shan for how long? Didn't we all attend the same school? Did you witness him today in court? The prosecution keeps saying that I have a V problem, but it's all part of the drama surrounding Young Thug and the grave allegations that he was a co-founder of a violent street gang in Atlanta. The Atlanta courthouse has been a hive of activity after Young Thug's guilty plea to charges including gang participation, cocaine, and guns. He is now dealing with severe circumstances. Any mistake might land him back in prison. However, his sincere apologies make it clear that he is considering his options. The speed at which things may change in our world is astounding.
I think you understand, right? Young Thug was looking at 120 years in prison. His lawyer reduced it to 15 years of probation. Do you know how insane that is? He basically beat a RICO case. And yes, 15 years of probation is a very long time. It's easy to violate probation, but if we're being honest, his stipulations are really not that bad. Number one, he can't go back to the metro Atlanta area, I think, for like 10 years.
Even if this is absurd, at least I'm trying to play second, to spread the word that gang violence is bad news avoided. He must do 4 talks and SL concerts a year. And what do you know? I wholeheartedly support it. They have allowed him to maintain his passport, which allows him to continue working. But he is now only permitted to communicate with his co-defendants if Gunna is making music. With Young Thug and Gunna facing severe accusations that might affect their careers, the stakes are greater than ever as these legal fights progress. Additionally, Brian, the attorney for Young Thug in this significant Ills RICO case, is asking a high fee. Woody just began trolling the whole trial when I informed him he had had enough of the questions. It was funny. He would inquire, seemingly bewildered, "Why did you try to cut my shoulders?" I'm still making an effort to stay informed, but these inquiries are just overwhelming. Yeah, what was it you remember telling Kay? They inquired. Woody is there saying yes. Are you only answering yes to expedite the questions? He's struggling to keep his composure. I attended school and can communicate in appropriate English, but it's tiring to be asked all these questions. All okay, sure? I don't remember speaking with Detective V. They persist despite Woody's repeated assertions. Can you explain what I don't recall? Woody inquired. That doesn't mean I don't remember, right? We can't stop giggling at this scenario because Woody's answers are so hilarious. Then this happened. What is meant by 372? Does it also correspond with the phone pad's DRC letters? In any case, what is your age? He keeps answering their questions in a way that is both funny and perplexing. What do you mean when you say grown? He asks at one point. I'm a grown-up now. However, how many years does it equate to? The whole scenario from the trial has gone viral. With Lil Woody taking center stage, it has transformed from a somber legal drama to pure comedic gold. Be careful if you haven't seen these vids yet. Everyone is discussing Woody's meteoric ascent to stardom and how he's hilariously dominating courtroom scenes.
Welcome back to this week's episode of The Emily Show. Today, we've got to talk about why Diddy's lawyers are big mad about that witness who I talked about in Quick Bits this week. If you missed the Monday show, you are missing quite a lot. And we've got to talk about this Young Thug plea. I went through a lot of the court hearing with you, talked about what it meant.
Young Thug's response to the issue has been nothing short of astonishing, regardless of whether he is given bail during this 15-year probationary term. Everyone was taken aback when Thug, one of the most contentious characters in the Ills Gang case, grinned when the court granted him bail. It was a brief, subtle, but unavoidable event that started a chain reaction. Now everyone is talking about it. The judge did not receive the gesture well, and the courtroom's tensions were evident immediately. Stay tuned as we explain why this little gesture was so significant. Before we start, however, we want to express our gratitude to Green Chef, our sponsor. Having supper delivered to my door is the only way to eat a balanced, nourishing meal. Getting a range of weekly dinner alternatives is made very simple with Green Chef. And it will be fine if I miss a week because life has become too hectic. Green Chef ensures we always have something easy and delectable to make, whether plant-based or protein-rich meals. Additionally, since the directions are so simple to follow, my teenager can manage it in the evenings when I'm too busy. Dinner is handled by Green Chef so that we can do everything else. Let's go back to the drama now. Many were relieved that young Thug had been released on bond after being detained for months on severe accusations under Georgia's RICO Act. Ultimately, the trial has been a protracted and lengthy procedure. However, his grin caught everyone off guard when the time came for Thug to be released on bond. One thing is sure, though, the judge was not pleased. Some saw it as arrogance while others viewed it as defiance. And that grin? Well, that certainly fueled the courtroom's already raging fire. Let's briefly review some important details of Young Thug's case to understand why this moment was so explosive. The rapper was jailed in May on gang-related allegations. His actual name is Jeffrey Williams. Among the grave charges against him is that he is a member of a criminal organization that engages in various unlawful acts. Due to his arrest and the allegations brought against him, this is already one of the most well-known incidents in Georgian history. Therefore, the SMIRK will probably be regarded as the turning point, even if the bail decision was crucial. It's evident that Young Thug's trial is far from done and that the drama is just getting hotter, regardless of whether it is a display of confidence or something more rebellious. Things are about to grow much more heated, so pay attention. He denied bonding 3 times. Prosecutors believe his record company, Al's Records, is a front and that it is responsible for around 80% of the crimes in Fordham County, Georgia, where he is suspected of heading an organized criminal ring. The label signed 28 artists. I was charged with trying to break the racketeer-influenced and corrupt organization's RICO Act back in May. Fighting organized crime is the goal of this statute, which was first used to eliminate mafia members in the 1970s. After reaching a plea agreement, one of the defendants, Gunna, was able to leave jail in December. Lyrics are now being used against us as proof, citing Young Thug's song Track Anyone with the lines, played aloud in court. Prosecutors contend it goes beyond simple artistic self-expression. Rap lyrics are not the first time they have been used as proof. For example, in a previous rap, someone states, "I had something to do with that corpse, but I never murdered anybody." Many politicians oppose this and are fighting to stop prosecutors and police from utilizing such songs in court. For instance, Snoop Dogg and Bobby Shmurda have also experienced this. New legislation restricting this practice was approved in California and New York last year, marking some progress. I always use my music as a form of creative expression, Young Thug, whose actual name is Jeffrey Lamar Williams, said in a statement released from jail in June. He also noted that this freedom isn't always available to black musicians and rappers. He maintains his innocence. Now that his well-publicized RICO lawsuit has begun, all eyes are on Atlanta. It's a significant event for all those concerned, and the judicial fights that lie ahead are fierce. This is the ideal answer if you wish to eat healthily but need more time to prepare meals. Fresh meats, breakfast alternatives, smoothies, quick lunches, and more are all made simple with Green Chef. This is a fantastic time to start your Thanksgiving shopping since the holidays are quickly approaching. See why greenchef.com is the best meal kit for healthy eating by visiting their website. Don't forget to use the coupon EmilyBaker50 to get 20% off your following 2 months and 50% off your first box. Returning to the trial, fans and legal experts are discussing the significance of this moment. Was the rapper acting strategically or was it simply nerves? Whatever it was, given all the delays and problems in the case, it is evident that the court didn't like it.
I have a friend, he's a rapper named Young Thug.
Yeah.
And I
heard that.
I just was wondering if there's a way that we can make sure he gets treated fair, that's all.
I hear Young Thug is being treated, I heard the name.
Yeah.
I heard it from other people where they say he's being treated very unfair.
Okay, let's get started. Imagine this, Young Thug, seated in court with a rather arrogant expression. But believe me when I say the smile wasn't only casual, it was a pivotal moment in the Ailes trial that nobody anticipated. Judges are required to keep everything under control in a courtroom, particularly when emotions are running high. But for this judge, Thug's haughty smile was unquestionably the tipping factor. The Ailes case has been taking place in Georgia, so let's take a moment to establish the situation. Everyone is on edge throughout this trial and emotions run high. Judges aren't exactly known for keeping their feelings to themselves, and things may get out of hand when they are treated disrespectfully. Imagine attempting to convey your truth while on the stand, yet the situation is tense. When Thug made that facial expression, it was just that. Not only was it a brief time, but it paved the way for something far more significant. Things took a drastic turn after this. Already irritated by the intricacies and hold-ups of the case, the judge lost it. The following scenario was nothing short of a wild one. When the judge arrived, just 2 of the 7 defendants were still in the courtroom. The worst part is that nobody knew what had happened to the others. It was discovered that the charges against them were no longer relevant and they simply vanished. Even the defendant's table was no longer occupied by the other defendants. They were transferred to the jury box instead. Imagine the shock of being abruptly switched between roles at that precise time. In only a few minutes, the case dynamics seemed to have altered, and the whole atmosphere also seemed to have changed. What does that smile mean now? Well, that went beyond just showing disdain for the court. The court saw it as an outright threat to their power. These events may have long-term effects in the realm of high-stakes trials. We are forced to wonder, did that one act of conceit serve as the impetus for a change in the course of the trial? The Ilse case is undoubtedly unpredictable, and the anxiety only increases with each new revelation. This narrative is far from done, so stay tuned. When they take a break, they can't look at one another and ask, "What do you think is going on here?" Since they're not even permitted to discuss the case, the jury has been seated since the opening state, and let's remember this case. Nothing has gone well throughout the Ilse trial. Rumors of an impending mistrial are circulating, and prosecutors have been forced to return to law school due to improper evidence handling. Thug's sneer was like throwing gasoline to the fire with all the commotion going on, and let's just say the judge wasn't amused. Here's some shocking news. In what is now Georgia's longest-running criminal trial, Atlanta rapper Young Thug is entering a guilty plea. According to the plea in Fulton County Court, Thug Jeffrey Lamar Williams was charged with racketeering in 2022. He led a street gang engaged in a variety of crimes, including drug peddling, murder, armed robbery, and carjacking, according to the prosecution. Even though this case has been going on forever, more than 30 co-defendants were added just when you thought it could get any stranger. After all the commotion, Young Thug's guilty plea was the greatest surprise, and in a scene that has everyone talking, he grinned immediately after being released on bond, causing the judge to lose it. Let's examine what happened next. Last week, rising fears that a mistrial could be imminent led to 2 judges' recusal from this trial. I spoke with ABC News legal correspondent Shah Lloyd to obtain the most recent information after months of judicial turmoil and delays. She brought to my attention the length of this case, officially the most extended criminal trial in Georgia history. Following a series of postponements, recused judges, and the constant risk of a mistrial, Young Thug reached a plea agreement. Here's the actual deal, however. Young Thug entered a guilty plea to possession of a handgun during a crime in violation of the Georgia Controlled Substances Act in court just minutes ago. Upon being released on bond, his grin was enough to send the court into a tailspin. According to legal experts, given how drawn out this trial has been, the judge most likely saw the SMIRK as disrespectful or arrogant, which you do not want to do in front of the court. This trial has evolved into a media circus rather than just a court matter. Young Thug, a rapper and friend of mine, even asked if there was anything we could do to ensure he was treated fairly. He has reportedly been abused, so how can we guarantee justice in a scenario with such high stakes? Trump adds that Young Thug's legal troubles show how unfair the system can be. Watch this space for further developments. Comments exacerbate the situation as the well-known RICO case continues to get national attention. Young Thug had an issue, and that problem was this person. This guy is the primary reason Young Thug is on trial. He met Lil Woody. Things are becoming heated, so let's dissect what's happening. First, Gunna, who isn't even on trial, significantly impacts Young Thug's destiny. Yes, you heard correctly. Young Thug's release may depend on Gunna, who has garnered media attention. "I'm not the boss of any gang," Thug has maintained, refuting the accusations that he is the head of a criminal group. This is where things get complex, however. Well, that's funny because we just ran into one of your guys, Lil Woody, and he's singing like Beyonce, the cops remarked, not believing it. This isn't just a casual remark, however. Lil Woody, one of Thug's cronies, was said to have spilled some big tea. In response, Young Thug's lawyer swiftly said, "Just because Lil Woody is talking doesn't mean it implicates Thug as the leader of any gang." Here's the twist, however. This leads us back to Lil Woody, who, along with 8 others, struck agreements to reduce their sentences. Do you remember him? It was he who started it all. Additionally, Woody is under increasing pressure to validate the accusations now that Young Thug's organization has been officially classified as a gang. His strange response to the straightforward inquiry, "How old are you?" is, "How old is Brown?" No, it's crucial, even though this may feel confusing. When Woody, an adult, cannot respond to simple inquiries, things get much more bizarre. Unexpectedly, he fires his lawyer, claiming she is too overweight to defend him. For him, it seems like things are getting out of hand. This is where things start to get interesting, however. The judge and the prosecutors take Woody into a secret conference. Why would they keep it a secret then? Nothing should be kept secret in a trial. Everything should be open and visible. No one outside the meeting knows what transpired, even though Thug's lawyer should have known everything. Woody is behaving more cooperative when the meeting is over. However, it does not imply that he is complying with their wishes. He even goes so far as to admit, "I made everything up." The worst part is that because the police have already classified Young Thug's gang as dangerous, he cannot be penalized for acknowledging that. Does it imply that Gunna's cooperation and testimony might be pivotal in this RICO case? Is justice being done, or is everything merely a complicated web of viewpoint and manipulation? This trial is ongoing, and as the pieces continue to come together, it becomes more difficult to discern between strategy and justice.
The state just ends up looking so fucking stupid. Because now Jeffrey Williams, Young Thug, walks free today, is just on probation, and he was facing 25 to 40 years in jail. This is the longest court case in Georgia's history, the most expensive ever, costing tens of millions of taxpayer money.
In a surprising turn of events, the rapper's avoidance of prison time saved taxpayers millions of dollars. Both reviewers and fans were curious about Thugger's reaction to this surprising result. The fact that this trial has continued for almost 6 months, one of the longest in Georgia history, is absurd. The intricacy of the case and the enormous number of witnesses the state has summoned are evident from that alone. To be honest, I'm not that surprised now that we've seen the plea agreement. Here it seemed that both parties were attempting to limit the harm. However, look at these latest pictures of Young Thug in court accepting that plea deal. As Thug's lawyers battled for his release throughout the trial, everyone was taken aback by Thug's response when the court ultimately granted bail. Thug grinned, not with relief or reverence. Facial expressions can convey much, as anybody who has seen a courtroom drama knows. That smile? Yes, the judge wasn't pleased with it. Watch this space for more.